Welcome to the Intentional Awakening podcast with your hosts, Kathy Brewer and Terry Huberman.
Well, hello there, and welcome to our episode of Intentional Awakening podcast. I'm Terry Huberman.
And I am your co-host, Kathy Groover, and we are starting this episode, as we do every episode, with an angel card. This is a doozy, and this will be a topic of a whole episode, but not today.
Okay.
Today's card,
I'm nervous.
It's a huge one.
It's biggie.
Big. Are you ready? Okay.
Ready.
Forgiveness.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You're like, yeah. Let go of resentments, judgments, and fears, and reduce your investment in staying hurt or angry. To forgive is to live in a world that is at peace with human nature. I love that card. Forgiveness is a huge topic. I've done courses on forgiveness. I've spent time talking with clients about forgiveness, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others. But today is not the day for that. Today, we're going to go a little different direction, though I promise you we will get back to forgiveness. So I spent this past weekend doing an Ajashanti retreat. He's a gentleman who experienced an awakening a couple decades ago. He's now 63. He's retiring, and this is his last in-person gathering. And I never sat with him before, and it was wild. I ended up getting a ticket. There were 750 people there.
Nice.
And Terry, I set myself up for this every time. I had this conversation with a client yesterday. I had her laughing her ass off, but I go to these events thinking I finally found my people.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I have found people who are awake, who are conscious, who are conscientious, who are polite, who are patient, who are somehow like me. And once again, I was proven wrong.
Oh, my God.
It's like, how? So I'm sitting there, it was 750 people. I ended up having an assigned seat because my back is weird. And so they put me on the aisle as I requested. It was lovely.
Great.
You showed up, they had the doors open an hour and a half early. So there was no excuse to not get there to get a seat. They had a little ribbon that you tied on your chair so you knew it was yours. And I sat down. There was a woman next to me. There was a man on the other side of her. This older gentleman and I had this immediate connection. There was this immediate recognition of soul family, of I get you, I know you on a deep level. We ended up having a phenomenal conversation. It was incredible. The woman next to me, not so sure. So as I'm sitting there, I'm watching, like someone dropped a coat and everyone just kind of looked and no one picked it up. There's trash laying there. Nobody, and I'm like, hello, are you guys
weird
seeing this, right?
Yeah.
But then there's like 10 minutes to go before the thing starts. And this woman comes in and she turns to her husband. She goes, "Oh, this is ridiculous. All the chairs are taken." And I'm thinking, you're coming to an awakening retreat. Like, then I'm sitting out at lunch, and sometimes I'll approach people and connect. And sometimes I just sit and see what comes to me. This was my first mistake. And so the woman that was sitting next to me in the auditorium comes out and she says, "Can I sit with you?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "I don't have to talk to you."
What? That's weird. That's weird, Kathy.
So when I approach people with that, I say, "May I share space with you?"
Okay.
That way they understand that I'm going to sit there, but I'm not going to blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah. So I said to this woman, no, you can talk. That was my second mistake. Because about 2 sentences in, I wish I would have gone, actually, can we just not talk?
Oh, my God.
She was bitching about her husband. She doesn't like where she lives. She has to deal with these dogs. She has to. And I'm thinking, I don't want to hear this right now. Like, I'm here in this space of fellowship and sangha and connection and meditation and spirituality. And you're bitching about the fact that you had to put 2 dogs in the car because your husband didn't want to stay home. And I'm just like, so this is the conclusion I came to, and then I'll stop talking and get your opinion on this. I think there are people like myself who are truly on this path, and we find teachers who impart wisdom and knowledge on us, and then we continue our study elsewhere, and we are stepping truly along the path. Then I think there's this cohort of people that glom onto teachers, or they go from self-help book to self-help book to self-help book, and they never get anywhere. They hope that surrounding themselves by people that are carrying light, they will somehow become enlightened. Sure. But they aren't doing the work, and they're just there to almost sort of leech the wisdom off the people who are there doing the work. This was the conclusion I came to yesterday, and there's no judgment in that. But it's like I keep expecting to find people who are truly on that same path as me, and I get sorely disappointed every time when I realize these are just people who are staying stuck in the negativity and want to kind of hang out with the light workers.
Yeah.
And that was so my experience Saturday. Now, I finally left her because I couldn't handle it anymore. And I ended up having conversations, like really cool, incredible conversations with like-minded people. Um, so I found it, but it was just this other example of, oh my God, there's people who, like, why are you here if you just want to complain about all these horrible things in your life? And maybe they get something from it and they weren't living it in that moment. But I've found this time and time again that I go to these gatherings and I find people who just want to bitch, whine, and complain and sort of glom onto the people who are doing the work.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
My take on it, it has to do with soul me. Meh. Sorry, you're drinking. I don't want you to spit
I
that
got
out.
tea in my mouth. Don't make me
I'm
snarf my
so
tea.
sorry.
That was funny. We'll
My
keep that in.
my tongue got cut out. That's gonna be a good for the blooper reel. Um, Evolution is what the word I was trying to say. Um, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And I've taken courses and classes for years and years and years, and I will continue to take courses and classes for years and years and years, and I will continue to meet people like this for years and years and years. Um, I don't want to say it's a kind of bypass, but
Mm,
I feel like a lot of these people are just it's just where they're at in their stage of evolution. It is not to take accountability and responsibility for their behaviors, actions, and responses, which is part of being a spiritual person. So they're not quite there yet. They don't understand that spirituality is the follow through of action, not just the ingestion or learning or receptivity of it.
yep.
Because I think this sentence will sum it up in a very nice and neat in a beautiful Tiffany box for you. Aha moments don't lead to an aha life. Makes a sense? So these are people who deeply want the transformation,
Yeah.
but they can't take the responsibility or the accountability of their own actions, responses, and behaviors to get to that point where they're actually living the word. So it's actually it what I'm about to say sounds very judgmental. So I just want people to understand that I'm not coming from a judgmental place, but it's going to sound judgmental. And it's just that they're out of integrity because they don't have the knowledge or the awareness. Because if they did, then they would be in integrity with follow through.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's an evolution of what they're capable and able to do at any point in their life. And so that's where people who might be on the path for either a longer period of time, or even if they're not there for a longer period of time, but they're in more integrity, meaning they're taking more accountability and responsibility for their actions. They I want to I'll say we because I'm in there too. You know, that's where we get to practice our spirituality. So it's a difficult thing to do. I'm not saying it's easy because it's a human response to want to
Oh,
go, I just get away. I can't, you know, but it's an opportunity for people like us to go, okay, wait a second, wait a second. I also need to practice loving kindness and just be like, okay. In
well,
other words, just allow them to have their
yep.
experience.
Sure. Well, and what I was going to say was I did that with her, but then after the first 15 minutes of nothing but negativity,
Yes,
I then had to protect myself and go, I
correct.
don't want to do this.
Right.
I
And
mean,
that's
and
okay.
people dump on me. When I was telling my husband these, oh, you found another dumper. I've had people in stores start to dump
Yeah,
stuff on me. I attract
everywhere.
this.
Well,
I totally get it. I attract this my entire life. And again, I'm also not coming from a place of judgment. she was clearly hurting on multiple levels.
Correct.
And there was then not even the spirituality stuff, but just like the humanness of, if you don't like where you live, maybe think about leaving. If you didn't want your husband to come, explain to him, hey, you just want a weekend away. Or if he wants to come, maybe he wants to spend time with you. And how lovely is that?
Yeah.
So it's like, but I'm not her coach, and it's like, I could have brought all this stuff up, but I'm like, I want to just absorb
Yeah.
the energy of these people that have been studying with this man for 30 years.
Sure.
And I think we can give ourselves permission to say, I'm not interested in this conversation, so I'm going to find another conversation, which is
Right.
finally what I did. So giving
Yeah.
myself permission to be like, I can't absorb any more of this. I got to go, kind of thing.
Right. Because you do have to take care of yourself. And the best way to do that is to actually remove yourself from the environment. I mean, I don't know if you could have, or if you did, like if she's sitting next to you, but
I
not,
left.
yeah, but that's the number one easiest way to get yourself out of the situation. Then what you're doing is you're practicing loving and kindness to yourself. Because if you're drained, you can't be there to help anybody else.
Right.
And as someone who in this lifetime was born as a healer, which is why they'll come up to you at the gas station, hi, I know this story very well. Anytime I'm at Target, wherever.
Yep.
Hey, can you tell me where did it like I know everything, but it's an energetic frequency that we vibrate at,
Yep.
right? So anyways, again, I'm not trying to be elitist or anything like that, but energy influences energy. Anyways, the point is that you have to practice loving and kindness with yourself and with other people. And perhaps you were actually being loving and kind to that other person because you didn't get to your threshold. If you had gotten to your threshold, maybe you would have said something that was unkind and unloving, right? So there's all these different levels of truth, right? So it's a very common thing. We're human beings
Mm-hmm.
and we get entangled in the material physical world.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those complaints she was having, they were on a more materialistic level. And that's okay. It's part of who we are. We're here to go above and beyond that, hence metaphysics. Right? Paranormal, above and beyond. Right. So what I've started doing, I'm not good at it, and I have a lot more practice that needs to happen, is that when these circumstances and situations come up, the first thing I try and do is remove myself from the situation, but also do the best that I can to come from a compassionate place.
Yep.
Just go, God, they are in a lot of pain. And it's okay that I don't want to be the one to get them out of their pain.
Yep.
So again, all these different levels of truth, but that is what spirituality is. Spirituality isn't having tarot cards, isn't having, um, you know, um, crystals. Those are all tools to
Yep.
enhance the experience. But what spirituality is doing your damnedest as a human being and all the challenges to be as loving and kind, compassionate, and generous as possible
Yes.
at whatever level you're at, because you can always grow. But if you don't have an awareness of it, like a lot of these people, then you can't do anything about it. But they are coming to these courses and classes and listening to these teachers with the hopes and the intention of absorbing and getting it so that they can have some sort of follow through and be in integrity. I think their intention is right, but the experience, they're lacking the experience of it because they're just not at the place where they're capable and able of taking follow through and
Right.
action.
The
So I
intention's there and the practice is not. They're not
practice is
actually
not
putting into practice. Well, and I don't know, maybe this woman is, but at least in that moment, it did
in
not
that
seem to be
moment. Yeah.
working.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes a certain level of awareness because we lose it. We get it, we lose it, we get it,
Sure.
we lose it. I've lost it many times, right? But again, it's a matter of practice and consistency where I'll go, okay, wait a second. It's not this person's fault. Oh, like customer service calls. You want to practice spirituality? Call up customer service and try and finagle your cable bill or whatever,
Yep.
right? Like that is the best way to practice spirituality because I have to go, I'm so angry because this person isn't giving me what I want, but I have to realize it's not this person's fault.
Yep.
right? I'm really angry and I'm not helping by being combative. I'm not helping by being da 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 da, right? Because I'm just going to get further and further away from what I want because of how I'm being, which is really entangled. And you can feel it in your body and your
Oh
voice.
yeah.
I mean, I've yelled at people. I have yelled. It's so funny because there are people who don't necessarily know me. And like, let's say the delivery for like Grubhub came. Oh, I remember this was an ex. He's like, I've never seen you be like that. I'm like, I was pissed. Like, it's not something you necessarily might normally do, but there are people who come to these things exactly like you said. They're just hoping to like ingest but they're not doing.
Yeah. That was the impression I got. I mean, she was a very sweet woman.
Oh, I'm
I just
sure.
couldn't sit in that. I just couldn't do it. Everything was wrong. Everything was negative. Everything
Yeah.
was bad. And I'm like, I just don't view the world that way.
Yeah.
I mean, especially little things like, she wasn't even talking about the big stuff. God,
Yeah.
wasn't about to go there. But anyway, so we're at our time. So yeah, good conversation. And for those of you who are still seeking, well, we're all seeking, but for those of you seeking, have patience with others, do
Yeah.
your work, do the homework, bring your best self in every situation you can. And sometimes we do get angry. And
Yeah.
the thing I wanted to say about that, which popped in, was it's okay to have anger.
Oh, yeah.
The problem with emotions is typically then we feel bad about having the emotion. It's not the
Yeah.
emotion that's the problem, it's our relationship to that emotion. So if
Yeah.
you then were like, oh, I shouldn't have been angry, and you feel bad about that, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And treat each other with love and respect. Just that normal thing.
As much as you can.
As much as we can. All right. I'm Kathy Gruber. I can be reached at kathygruber.coach.
And you can find me, Terry Huberman, at terryhuberman.com. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode of Intentional Awakening Podcast, and we will see you soon.